And welcome to the 27th episode of the TechnoBuffalo Show. I'm one of your two hosts for today, Sean Ani, editor-in-chief of the site, and I'm joined by executive editor of Mobile, Todd Hazelton.
Hey everybody,
How are you doing today, Todd?
I am good. What news
Well,
about this week?
yeah, a lot of news came out this week. Luckily, it's not the onslaught of devices that last week was. That was insanity how many devices were coming in. And now we can finally talk about the Nexus 9.
Yep, we can, and I have it right here.
Yes, so I have not gotten to touch one yet. I have not played with Lollipop yet. And as we always state, does not constitute our review. What do you think of Lollipop so far?
I really like Lollipop so far. I can show you a little bit of it here. I like how much flatter everything is, and I've said this too, like in our posts, that there's small like animations as you go about. So you tap like the home button, it kind of like ripple effects. I like just small touches here in the quick settings menu. There's just, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a quick or a small avatar for me. You know, it's a custom picture. Just like all these small touches throughout. And I swipe to the side, and there's a huge, Google Now page, which we've had before. I don't know. I just really like it. I feel like it was just really polished everywhere. Like Google went through and really lined it up. And remember when, I mean, I'm going all the way back to Honeycomb, but it felt like Tron, and it was like blue, but like nothing really matched. This is like finally like it's finally to the point where everything sort of works together really well.
My first CES was the Honeycomb year, and that's when the Motorola Zoom and all that was there.
Yeah, that's right.
And it looked like a 1980s nightmare.
Mm-hmm. And performed one too. Yeah. Which, I mean, that's another thing. So we can talk about, we're still working on a review, so I'm not making like any final claims here, but there are some parts of this that the Nexus 9 that I'm not crazy about. So like, it has a Tegra K1 processor, which is super powerful. We saw that in the Shield tablet from NVIDIA, and it's capable of running some desktop quality games, and especially, and you can like add a controller, all this fun stuff. Well, like Google's not showing any of that here. There aren't any special games that are taking advantage of that processor, and I just feel like even the games that are on here are kind of like here and there sluggish, and Google released a software update that was supposed to fix that. But still, like I just feel like performance isn't crazy here, and to me this very much feels like in a lot of ways a reference design, which is what it's in some cases supposed to be as a Nexus device.
Excuse me while I mute my phone. So yeah, I don't know. So do you feel like maybe it's Lollipop that's the issue, or is it the Nexus 9?
I don't think it's Lollipop, but that's a good question, right? Because the Tegra K1, we know it runs really smooth, and actually we'll know better soon because Lollipop's going to hit the Shield tablet this month, NVIDIA said last night. But
That's a good point, yeah.
I don't think it's Lollipop. Lollipop feels smooth itself. It's just like this underlying. I'm sure it can be fixed with a software update again, but like I just feel like. And I think I saw this in other comments too. Like when Apple takes the stage and introduces a new iPad, and I'm not saying Apple's the way to do things or anything, but what they do is they show what this new iPad can do with this processor, and like I feel like Google's not doing that in the case with the Nexus 9 here. Like it's not saying like check out all this stuff it can do because I know it can do it. We've already seen it done on the Shield tablet. So like why not highlight more of that power? And I don't know what the answer is how to do that, but it should be happening.
Excuse my typing, everyone. Roy Choi, managing editor of TechnoBuffalo, is on vacation, and he just IM'd me about work stuff, and I was like, go do vacation-y things.
Hey, get out of here, man.
Like last year when I called into the weekly staff call from my vacation.
That's right.
I just did that to screw with everybody. But I'm always watching. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So it's going to be interesting, especially like when we see Lollipop roll out to say like the Nexus 7 to see how it performs, or the Nexus 5, any of the previous generation devices that we know are going to get a pure Android version.
It should run fine, right? Too, because I have the Nexus 5 floating around here in one of these drawers with the latest Android L build on it, and that's been totally fine for me. So I think it'll run okay.
I did jump. I still have not gotten an official email confirmation, but I did jump into that sale that they were having yesterday at HTC for
Oh
the.
yeah, that was a great fire sale.
Yeah, which I don't know if that was the wise. I mean, you do it a day after the, the device comes out.
Yeah, people were like, "Oh crap!" But you know what? I feel like I think it was great promotion. They're like, "Hey, come in, buy it." You know, they didn't have an unlimited supply, so it wasn't like everybody come buy our half off tablet. You know, like I would have felt terrible like if I bought the device and then the next day they were just offering it to everybody for half off. I would have been crazy. But
Right now, Sasha Bahal has a question. We've already answered part of it. What do you guys think of Android 5.0 Lollipop? Is there any features that you feel is missing? And again, you can speak to that more than I can.
I really like it. I feel like it's the smartest version of Android. Obviously, it has the most changes. I'm still using it. I'm still learning some of the new stuff in it. But I think one of my favorite things is just material design, the way it looks, and the way Google's new apps are being updated to look that way too. So like we saw Google Calendar, which is incredible. The new Google Calendar. If you haven't seen it yet, install it. It's really beautiful. Has like different pictures for the month, and if you have a flight coming up, it shows the weather and the an actual picture of your destination. So if you're flying to New York, you'll see a picture of New York. It's really cool, and I think that's what I like about it. It just all comes together, and it feels like I've said before. It feels so alive. That's what I like most about Lollipop.
Just in case you forgot where you're flying to.
Right, and I wouldn't fly to New York because I'm here. No, but it's cool. It's just like it's more robust and alive. I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
Quick funny story. I flew in from Japan once into LAX, and of course I'm tired as all get out. And the first customs guy who checks my passport, he hands it to me and just mumbles, "Welcome to Miami."
What?
I get like a foot and a half away. I'm like, that was really mean. Kind of looked over his shoulder and grinned at me. I'm like, wow, that was mean.
That's great. Welcome to Miami.
I was like, it took a second for it to click. I'm like, I'm in LA. What?
That's hilarious.
After a long haul flight, your brain is not all there, but
yeah.
So yesterday we had the rumor of the iPhone 6 Plus being possibly recalled over its flash memory.
Yeah, so that was crazy.
This was something that came up in the toy industry a lot when I worked in it, and anytime there was a problem with a toy, a lot of people would mean, "Oh, they're going to recall it. They're going to recall it." And one time I called up, I can't remember what toy company it was. I was like, "Hey guys, we're hearing this rumor that there's going to be a recall," and they were like, "Sean," you go, "do you have any clue how much a recall costs?"
Yeah, it's obscene.
They go, "Unless it is killing somebody, we're not recalling it."
Yeah, exactly.
In this case, I mean, if any of this proves to be true, which we saw a report later in the day that it looks like it's not, but if this was true, I think it would just be simply a bring it to the Apple Store and we'll swap out the part, but an actual true recall.
Yeah, like a huge, massive recall, which is what this report suggested was in store. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, okay, so the root of it, though, is that apparently, like for those who didn't see the news yesterday, apparently the iPhone 6 Plus with 128 gigs of storage, and I think the iPhone 6 too, though the report didn't refer specifically to the 6, just said the 6 Plus, uses a different type of NAND flash storage that I guess is susceptible to crashing and has one of the IC controller parts, I guess, is apparently allegedly default or faulty in some cases, and that's already been seen in some of Samsung's solid-state drives. So they were surmising then that, or they'd heard through the grapevine, I guess, in the industry sources, that Apple was planning to recall the iPhone 6 Plus because of this. Now, what's the main issue? I've seen it myself. Apparently, when you have a lot of apps installed on your iPhone 6 Plus with 128 gigs of storage, it crashes a lot and reboots. Mine does, probably about once a day. And so if that's causing it, then I can understand why this would be a problem, to the point where, like if Apple said, bring it to the store and we'll swap it out for a unit that doesn't do that, I'd do that in a heartbeat. So So there's two sides to this rumor. Is it happening? Yes. Is it as major as it needs to be? And is there going to be a huge recall? And is everybody going to go nuts? I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, if there's going to be a huge recall on this thing, I think we would have heard that with the Bendgate stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And my question would be, who needs that many apps?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was talking with Brandon on our team yesterday because we were going through and saying like, well, who's seen this problem and stuff, and I was like, well, I have, and he's like, how many apps do you have? And I went through at 104, I counted. So I guess I do have that many apps.
I probably have around 80 or so, but I mean, I was seeing reports of like it has to be like 500 apps. I'm like,
I don't know. Mine crashes pretty regularly, to be honest. But I mean, it's just like it's real quick. Just like flashes to the Apple logo and restarts. I also have a lot of pictures and videos and stuff too, so my storage is pretty cramped.
I have a lot of videos. Actually, while we're talking here, I'll look up how much space I have left. But I haven't seen any issues. So I have no idea. Let's see. I have 30 gigs available on my 64 gig.
Right. Okay.
But who knows? I don't think there's going to be a recall. I think people are looking for issues with Certainly. The iPhones.
Yeah, and we talked about this yesterday, how in Korea, I guess the media can sometimes be swayed by different companies, and there's two big ones there, where they'll sort of report things that might not always be true. And to me, and put on your conspiracy theory hat, but what I was thinking, what if one of Apple's major
smartphones... Excuse me while I get some tinfoil.
Yeah. What if, but this is, I guess, it could happen. What if one of Apple's major smartphone competitors sort of said this and said, oh, there might be a massive recall, like whispered it to somebody. And then all of a sudden, here you go, and Apple's, getting bad press about this recall. So who knows, what the roots of it are. But
you never know. You never know.
But it is, it's an issue that is happening, so...
Something we didn't discuss pre-show, and looking at my apps made me think of it. What do you think about this Amazon Prime unlimited photo storage?
Yeah, that was cool. I started uploading my photos yesterday. The problem for me is now there's just so many options. Like, okay, so with an iPhone you have iCloud, right? And it's already backing up. But I also have used Android, so those photos are also being backed up to Google+. Which is great. I love Google Plus Photos. I love the auto awesome feature where it'll animate it or add in something funny. Then I also have OneDrive storage because I subscribe now to Office 365. So I know Microsoft just upped it to unlimited, but I still see a terabyte, which is more than enough for me. And now Amazon, and that's on top of like my Dropbox account too. So like, I don't know that I need it, but it's great for people who don't already have 5 other options.
Exactly. Well, with me, I use a system called SugarSync, which
right.
I love SugarSync because you can install it on multiple computers and then make sure your folders are always the same on every computer.
Mm-hmm.
But then I have a Flickr Pro account, which I'm really beginning to wonder why there's any reason to have Flickr when there's so many ways. Yeah, if you want to show your pictures off, that's one thing, but I was using it as kind of a backup system. And I actually had a picture, though. One of my pictures from Boston of a graveyard ended up in a textbook.
What?
Yeah, I got an email from a textbook publisher, and they're like, hey, we saw your picture on Flickr, and we'd like your permission to use it in our textbook. I'm like, sure.
That's awesome.
There you go.
That's great.
Go on. But so I was like, okay, maybe I will keep Flickr and see how many more textbooks I can get in. But I think that is the issue. There are so many cloud options, and the biggest issue I have is trying to remember which cloud I put that file on.
Yeah.
Between like Google Drive and Dropbox. I'm like, oh, I put that one on. Wait, it was on. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Dropbox has that carousel feature, which is specifically for photos too. So it's like everybody has something. I feel like I prefer mine to go to Google Plus because they look better there. I just like the layout better. It does all that cool effects, like I was saying. And then I also back up to OneDrive because for me that's sort of like my photo dump. Like, but it's terribly organized. OneDrive looks really ugly to me. I just don't like anything about it aside from like, okay, my photos are here and I don't have to worry about it.
The one thing I still need to figure out on Prime Photos, and I saw an example of it in a screenshot, is how to. Everything right now is organized by year. I'd like to organize. Okay, that was my trip to Boston. That was my trip to Philadelphia.
Right.
And I haven't figured that out yet. But I've had 30 seconds to really play with the sucker.
Yeah, I haven't. All I did was start uploading it on my Mac yesterday. My photos.
Yeah, I uploaded 3,000 pictures yesterday or something like that, which I'm like, when did I start shooting this many pictures?
Yeah. Well, you know what's my other fear about all these services is like, what happens when I just forget about it and I'm like, okay, this is great, but I'm just not using it, so I'm just like, my problem is then I leave these photos just out there in the ether, like my private family photos, and that's scary. Like I remember when I was in college, what was it, Web Shots or something was like a popular online photo, like before Facebook had photo albums, and so I would use that, and then like after college I remember going back being like, oh my, I totally forgot these are out there, and
well,
I don't want that.
I started a long time ago, about every 6 months I print out a spreadsheet for my family, and I hope they never have to use it, but should anything ever happen to me, car accident, whatever, they have a spreadsheet that has all my accounts, all my usernames, passwords, and also tells them what's on that account and if it's got any sort of recurring payment on it.
Oh, nice.
So that way, if they, should something happen to me, they aren't paying for like my personal server for 3 months. Yeah. And they don't know why that charge is coming through or what it is.
Mm.
So it's also helpful to me because it helps remind me, what I've put where.
Right.
But I know I'm the oddball. I know that 99.99% of people are not keeping that sort of record. And you're right. I mean, there's going to be this gigantic digital trail left behind us as we all move from service to service.
Yeah, exactly. And then they just float there.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, heck, I think I still have a MySpace account. I haven't been on it in God knows how many years.
What was that, sir? Maybe it was, I don't know.
Well, there was one site I worked for years ago that it was just as social media was booming, and we actually had a company rule that we had to join every social network.
What?
Well, the thing was, we were always afraid that people were going to try to come in and impersonate us.
Okay.
I have, as far as I know, I still have a Bebo account. I had an Orkut account. I mean, I had memberships. I had joined sites you've never even heard of. It was insanity.
Huh.
Total insanity. But let's start getting into some of the questions we've got coming in here. We've got one from Charles Van Ness. Do you think the next iPhone will have 2 gigabytes of RAM like the iPad Air 2 has? Probably.
I don't know. Yeah, it seems probable, but we stuck with 1 gig this year. I think it just depends on what Apple plans to do with iOS and if it requires that much.
Yeah. Yeah, Apple's never been one to bend to the whole spec race.
Yeah.
So they're not going to up it, but it is going to start looking odder and odder if they're, back there at 1 gigabyte and, 4 gigabytes has become the standard.
Yeah.
At some point, they're going to have to up it just so. Although, and that's the one thing, Apple never publicizes how much RAM it has.
Yeah, it's usually found in like teardowns.
Yeah, that always comes out of the teardowns. If you look over Apple's site, they have never published the RAM for the iPads or the iPhones. And then sometimes they say things like 1/4 terabyte. But,
Yeah. Oh man,
that
what was
that was
that
the
for? That
funniest
was
spec.
for. Was it a new iMac?
I think it
It
was.
wasn't the most. It wasn't the Retina one. I know that, but I think it was
It
like
comes
new
with a quarter terabyte of storage.
iMac. Like what? Terrible.
Oh, I remember we were all on the family call and or on the group call. We were all like, "Did he just say quarter terabyte?"
Quarter terabyte. I want to use that.
Yeah, I want you to use that in all your
Well,
articles.
okay, so I'm changing topics here, but
Yeah.
Galaxy S6 rumor yesterday said that it
Oh
might ship
yes.
with 128 gigs of storage, and if micro SD card support is there, then you could have a quarter terabyte on your Galaxy S6.
There you go. Oh, goodness gracious. Also from Charles Van Ness. Have you heard about the exclusivity with MCX will expire in a few months, not years? Yeah,
Saw that
this thing
headline
is
last
such a
night. Yeah.
mess.
Yeah.
I, honestly, I mean, we've heard so many conflicting things about MCX, and even some of that conflict comes from official statements from the company.
Right.
It's honestly at this point, I don't know what's happening. I think that if MCX does what we've heard that it only ties into your bank account, it doesn't use credit cards, which that's just a way for the retailers to save the credit card fees. This thing's not going to take off. No one's going to want to just give direct access to their bank accounts.
Yeah, and data collection stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I wish we could just stick with what we have, but it sounds like this has been years in the making, and they obviously want it for a reason. And I'm sure they think it's the better option, but having used Google Wallet and Apple Pay and Soft Card, I think that's sort of it's just more seamless. Like I don't want to deal with the QR code and direct access
Yeah,
to bank accounts and stuff like that. So,
totally agree.
but
Totally agree.
they MCX thinks otherwise, and they say our customers know what they want, and this is what they want. So we'll see. But as a consumer myself, I don't think I agree with that.
Uh, let's get to this question. Poor Sasha Bahal has been asking this for like 2 3 weeks now. Do you guys have any favorite Pebble apps and watch faces?
Um, I don't have my Pebble on right now. I'm using the G Watch R, which is cool. Um, no, mine just had like my favorite one on Pebble. I forget what it was called, but it had like the barometer readings. Like it had like every weather reading, like wind direction, wind speed, and all that. I thought that was my favorite. It's pretty easy to find. I think it's highly rated. So.
I've got my watch face is called Trekkie, and it looks like the computer displays on the next generation Enterprise.
Nice.
And so, yeah, because I'm a giant geek. Uh, as for apps, I really don't use a whole lot of apps on the Pebble. I mainly use it for notifications.
Yeah, that's all. That's actually all I used mine for too. I mean, I had like ESPN on there. Then I took it off because the worst is like when I couldn't watch a game, and so I was recording it at home. But then the scores start coming in on my wrist. I'm like, no, watch this later.
I'm one of those horrible people. I look at the score before I watch a recorded game because I'm like, do I really feel like being annoyed?
Oh yeah, good point. There's always you can still hold out the hope that they won though, and then
Yeah, but I'm like, I can sit down and watch an hour and a half of Manchester United get embarrassed, or I can do something else.
Yeah, good point.
I hate to do that, but it's just sometimes you have to make those guesses.
Yep.
Okay, from Saho Raja, I hope I said that correctly. I have a Moto G 2014. When will I get Android L?
Well, Android 5.0 Lollipop is the official name now. What did Motorola say? I think it was like they already listed definitely coming. Let me just bring it up. I have it in my history here. I'll give you a direct answer. But I know it should probably be quick because Google or Motorola was really good with that last year with the Moto X. I mean, in some cases it beat I guess the Google Play Edition devices to KitKat. So We should see it. Let's see. Exact timing for the rollouts wasn't revealed yet, but we'll reveal it later. So I don't know. I wouldn't. Let's see. HTC is promising within 90 days, and Motorola was really, really quick last year. So I would say at least before February, definitely. So within 90 days, that's HTC and Motorola quicker. I don't know a firm date, but sooner than later would be my guess.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be very long.
It seems like a lot of these phone makers are ready to go this time around. Like we saw the leaks with the Galaxy S5, Samsung teased the Galaxy Note 4, a Lollipop update. Sony already had a list of phones that it's promising. So, hopefully it's quick for everybody.
Yeah. From Charles Van Ness, what do you think about Christian Bale possibly playing Steve Jobs in the movie? He actually has dropped out.
Backed out, yeah.
Yeah, the new rumor is Michael Fassbender. Bale did not feel that, well, the official word is that he didn't feel he was the right person and he stepped out of the role, but you never know.
Yeah, what's the rumor then? Do we have any rumors on why he would have left?
Well, they're saying Michael Fassbender, who plays Magneto in the X-Men movies, young Magneto, and also played the android David in Prometheus. But the sad thing is, Bale looked a lot like Jobs. But
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. Christian Bale is known to be a little
hot-headed, right?
Yeah. Just a tiny bit hot-headed. Just teeny tiny bit. I'm sure we've all heard that famous audio clip.
Yeah.
No! Christian Bale.
One of Batman's.
From Sasha Bahal, hey Sean, how is the new Irvine office? The new Irvine office is really, really nice. I liked it a lot. A lot more open, much bigger. Fantastic having a studio now. We have a lot of room for expansion. John was like, "Well, I think we can fit," and he told me a number of people we can fit in here, and I was like, "No, I don't want to manage that many people. No." Maybe someday, we'll see. But no, it's really nice, and there will be an office tour coming once they get a little bit more set up and settled.
Some news during this podcast, real quick. The Moto Max is officially the Droid Turbo for international release, just so everybody knows, if you're listening right now.
Awesome. From Lazisty, hello. Google said that they would roll out the Lollipop update on 3rd November, and it's almost 6th November and still no update. When will the N5 get the update?
Unfortunately, I saw a lot of sites with this news yesterday or 2 days ago. What happened was they said roll out Android, and what Google meant was like Nexus 9 rolling out Android like it's going, and then they also started to release the final builds to manufacturers so that they can get their updates prepared. So it's not the final release of Lollipop for the Nexus 5 and Nexus 7 and all these devices right then. But I know that it was misconstrued all over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were files going up, but they aren't files. They're files that, so HTC can work on it, with a 90-day lead to get its release out. So hopefully soon. I mean, it shouldn't take long, right? These are Nexus devices. It shouldn't be very long, but there's no official November 3rd update rollout.
Right. No, the wording was a little weird, and a lot of sites did report it as November 3rd, but that's when it's gone out to the people it needs to go out to, and the Nexus devices, I would say, within the next week or two will get it.
Yeah, seems
that's a guess. Just to be clear, that's a guess. Okay, from Mike Beard. Now that the Note 4 is out, what smartphone do you think is killing the rest? And all I can picture is a cell phone with a big butcher knife and wearing a hockey mask.
Note 4 is great. I have it right here. I really like it. I don't think anybody's killing each other, right? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Nexus 6 looks awesome though.
There's a lot of awesome phones right now. I would hate to be in the market for a phone right now. It's nuts. I don't know how I would ever decide. You know, I kind of did make a decision over the summer. I did, I purchased a OnePlus One, and I also have purchased an iPhone 6 Plus. But if I was out there right now, just your general consumer walking into a carrier store, I think my eyes would bug out of my head.
Right. Yeah. There's so many, and it's good that they're all really good. I was like right now, I would look at like me personally. I would probably look at the Note 4 and the Nexus 6 because I know that the M8 will probably be updated around early next year, is my guess, for HTC. And Sony's Xperia Z3 is out, but here in the United States, it's only technically really on T-Mobile, which is another good one. I mean, I would totally check that out too. And what else do we have out there? I mean, OnePlus One, if you can grab one, I bought one of those. It's really nice too. But I think I would probably go with the Nexus 6 right now. Because pure Android, I really like Lollipop. It's already on there. It's just expensive.
Exactly. Interesting question from Sahal Raja. Do you think the iPad Mini will be killed off? And the reason I want to address this is this whole idea, why didn't they do a smaller Nexus tablet this time? I'm wondering if maybe we are finally seeing the phablets eat into the 7-inch market.
It seems plausible. And especially, I mean, I thought there was the rumor that the rumored iPad Pro is going to kill off the iPad Mini. And the reason that I thought that made sense is because the iPad Mini, well, we know iPad sales are down quarter over quarter anyway. And so if Apple is trying to spur new interest in the iPads, well then maybe a new form factor is the way to do it. And say like, this is it. I mean, look what you can do, and maybe you can run two apps side by side. And releasing a new iPad Mini, he's not introducing anything new, right? Like, in fact, this year the iPad Mini 3 has the same parts as last year, but with Touch ID, which tells me, and you know better, Sean, but it seems like they're just trying to rid inventory of what they have already on board for the iPad Mini, and yeah, maybe to get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was very, very interesting to me this year that the only update to the iPad Mini was the Touch ID.
Right.
That seemed very, very odd to me. Now, true, in the life cycle of the main iPad, there have been the, minute updates. I think we all remember that one where we were like, wait, did they just announce a new iPad?
Yeah, they just added like lightning port or something.
Yeah. And we were all like,
what the heck?
They just announced a new iPad. So yeah, I don't know. I find it very interesting that the Nexus 7 did not get an update and that we went to a Nexus 9. That the iPad Mini didn't get a major update. I mean, obviously Amazon still thinks this is a viable. I mean, my goodness, they released a Fire HDX 6.
Yeah, right. That's crazy.
I still don't get the 6. But I don't know. Will the iPad Mini ever be killed off? Possibly.
And I don't think it's going to be as quick as people like suggest. I think maybe after like another year. I mean, they're not just going to release the iPad Mini 3 and be like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Let's see here. From Mike Beard, when Google says they will send you an invite for Inbox, how long does it usually take? I requested 10 days ago and still no invite. That's a mystery.
I think mine came in like 2 days, and I didn't use a press account or anything. I used my own private account. I don't know. I guess it is a mystery. Best bet's probably to ask for invites from people that already have it. I got 3 early. I gave it to TechnoBuffalo staff, and I think they refilled me recently, and I gave it to other friends. So, I mean, it should be public pretty soon, too.
Yeah, I think so as well. Let's see. From Charles Van Ness, have either of you seen or have thoughts about the new 5K iMac? Looking at getting one, just wanted your thoughts. I know I haven't been near a 5K yet. Okay, yeah. John has one out in Irvine, but Todd and I have not seen it. He said it's pretty.
Looks like people love that thing, and I mean, 5K. Why not? But
did you see the picture The Verge posted of their
yeah,
site?
yeah, I sent that to you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Like
that
their
was
site, their native resolutions, like it's like this big on the screen.
yeah, it's amazing how small it actually looked. Uh, Interesting question from Liza Stee. Why do a lot of people say that the Nexus 6 is too expensive, but they own an iPhone 6?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I take back. I'm putting my foot in my mouth when I say too expensive. I just mean that it's not as affordable as Nexus devices were in the past, and so at $699 with 64 gigs of storage, which is the one I'd want, it's just expensive right now off contract. I know it's going to hit all the carriers. It sounds like for about $199, in which case, no, it's not too expensive. In fact, it's really nicely priced, and at $699, it's even really solid price compared to flagships that are upwards of $800. I mean, I think the Galaxy Note Edge is going to cost $399 with a contract. Like, that's insane.
The off-contract price for the Edge blew my mind.
Yeah, so, yeah. What is it, 9 something?
$949.
Yeah. So good point there. I'm just saying too expensive in the sense that for me, looking at the Nexus 5 price moving to the Nexus 6, I don't think it's too expensive. It's a great phone too. So.
Yeah. No, I think we are all just. It was more expensive than we're used to with Nexus devices. I think that was the issue there. But more power to you if you pick one up, because I would love to pick one up. It's just unfortunately not in my budget right now.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see here. Going through this one we get every so often from Sasha Bahal. Also, what happened with John Quatch? John decided he wanted to focus more on just development, like app development, and he left to go work for a company to do that. We miss him greatly, and I try to talk to him every couple days.
Nice.
Yeah, well, he and I have some running jokes that I just have to keep going and torture him with. But no, John Quatch is doing well, and we miss him, and we wish him all the luck in the world. Let's see here. Good question from Adam McDonald. Does the fact I have the GPE, Google Play Edition, HTC One M8, mean I will get the new Android sooner?
Hopefully, right? But I don't know. Yeah. That's sort of like the point. But I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Because you have GPE and it's not going to have to go through carrier approvals, then yes, I mean, you should be getting the update sooner than folks who have to wait for Verizon or Sprint or T-Mobile or AT&T to say, okay, it's good to go, you can push it out now. So, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. I would think you will, but you never know for sure. From Sasha Bahal, are you ever going to have any of the guys at the Irvine office on the TechnoBuffalo Show? We hope to. The problem is that when the time we decided to do this show, it's 9 a.m. Pacific, so they're just getting into the office and trying to get their day started. So we hope to work it out at some point, but we just haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. There's a Google Maps update for everybody out there, too. There's so much news happening right now.
Okay. Let's see here. From Nate Marquez. Can't decide between the Note 4 or the Nexus 6. Which do you think will be better all-around experience? I want to buy outright and am unsure if the Note 4 is worth an extra $50 to $100. Very good question, Nate.
Oh, man, that's tough because S Pen's really cool and it does a lot of stuff, and the Note 4 is it's a really beautiful phone. I love the metal edges. I love everything about it. It doesn't feel as quick and fluid as Lollipop on the Nexus 6, but, that's sort of been the trend. Samsung's devices haven't been that quick and fluid for a while now. It's just TouchWiz. But if you can, sort of overlook that and you really like the S Pen, then Note 4 is a fantastic device. But if you want pure Android, look at the Nexus 6. I'd say try to wait maybe a little bit until Nexus 6 hits a carrier store where you can then play with them side by side and get a better feel. Because you're really going to want to. They're both really, really nice phones in the hand and everything. So.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's excellent question. Tough call, but I agree. Todd, you really need to pick up a Nexus 6 and see how you think it feels.
Mhm.
Let's see here. From Sachin Bahal, how come it was basically impossible to get pre-order a Nexus 6? Limited stock quantity would be my guess.
Yeah, it sounds like it. But they said they're going to refill yesterday. I guess they said they're going to refill every Wednesday. So
Yeah.
at some point today, you can try to order again, and it'll probably run out of stock really quickly again.
As I dribble coffee down my shirt. Yeah, this hole in my lip, it's always been a curse.
I have one of those too.
This is actually why I always, when I travel, no matter what, I always carry an extra shirt in my carry-on.
Mm.
Even if I'm just taking my computer bag, there's an extra T-shirt or something in that.
I had a wedding last weekend, and I wore a white shirt, and I brought an extra white shirt with me in my bag just in case.
Yeah, because me putting on a white shirt is just an immediate call for everything.
Same here.
To attack me.
Idea.
Oh, good Lord. Let's see here from Sachin Bahal. What do you guys think of the first-person mode coming to GTA 5? And are any of you going to get it?
Looks so cool. I'm gonna buy it.
It looks really awesome. I'm picking it up for the Xbox One just because I played the original version on the 360. I know it doesn't really matter. But I will say I'm annoyed by the fact I gotta go through the whole story mode again.
See, I didn't get very far because my Xbox 360 was on its way out. I had to slap the console every time I put the game in, and eventually I was like, I'm not dealing with this thing anymore. So I'm kind of excited. And then I saw a first-person mode yesterday. I was like, whoa, this looks amazing. And I'm going to do it on the PS4.
There's going to be some times where first person will be awesome, and there's going to be other times where I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
Sure. I like when in the video yesterday when he was swerving between the police cars, I was like, oh no. No, that will all be third person, thank you.
For me, I'm used to in Battlefield 3 and stuff, flying helicopters and that kind of stuff. First person could be pretty useful. I don't know.
Yeah. One last question here, asking if Joey will make a return to the TechnoBuffalo Show. That is the plan. The gaming department has a list of reviews they are working on that is a mile long, and something a lot of people don't think about is if a campaign is 40 hours, that means those guys are spending literally 40 hours playing the game before they start reviewing, so you can see quickly how their time is massively consumed. So the hope is that he will return in the new year. It's just a matter of there's just way too many reviews going on, and next week's a big game release week, and the week after that's a big game release week. So until this big release window is over, that's he's going to be MIA for sure. Well, folks, that is going to bring episode 27 of the TechnoBuffalo Show to an end. As always, we appreciate you joining us. You can find us on the iTunes Store by searching for the TechnoBuffalo Show, and we do appreciate if you rate and review us. That does help the show out. You can also find us on the Stitcher app, which means you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. You can find us on Pocket Casts, or you can subscribe via RSS feed. Basically, anywhere you can find podcasts, you can find the TechnoBuffalo Show. Until next week, I've been Sean Ani. I'm the editor-in-chief of TechnoBuffalo. I've been joined by executive editor of Mobile, Todd Hazelton.
Bye, everybody.
And we'll see you all back here next week. Till then, take it easy. Bye-bye.